The story begins in 1970 when a nursing student named Donna received the Annabelle doll as a birthday gift from her mother. At first, she was excited by the gift and she took it back to her apartment, which she shared with another young nurse named Angie. After Donna brought the doll to her apartment, strange and frightening occurrences began to happen. They noticed that Annabelle was moving on her own and would often find her in different rooms. Donna and her roommate even witnessed the doll's arms moving on their own. Instead of frightening, they invited a medium to hold a seance. And guess what? The doll spirit spoke to them. The medium told that the doll is possessed by a 7-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins and simply wanted to be loved and cared for. The two young nurses reportedly felt bad for the spirit and gave permission to allow her to live inside the doll. After the seance, Donna and Angie began experiencing even stranger occurrences. They started hearing whispers and knocking sounds, but couldn't explain where they were coming from. If that wasn't scary enough, Donna and Angie started to find notes left throughout the apartment. The notes simply said, "Help me," and they were written on parchment paper, which they did not even own. Things took a sinister turn when Lou, the boyfriend of one of the nurses, began to grow increasingly nervous about the doll. He believed that she was evil and that something needed to be done. One afternoon, while taking a nap at the apartment, Lou had a terrible nightmare that Annabelle was strangling him. He woke up in a panic and threw the doll across the room. Then suddenly, 7 claw marks appeared on his body. What was even more strange about the scratches was that they healed almost instantaneously. And within 2 days, there was no trace of them at all. Terrified by this, 2 nurses called a priest for help. And the priest then later called one of the most famous paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. And what they found will blow your mind. They discovered that the doll was not possessed by any spirit, but rather controlled by a demon.
But God does not allow the spirit of a child to go into a doll. This was a demon who was posing as that little child to create sympathy to these 2 young women.
Lorraine requested a priest to conduct an exorcism in their apartment. After the exorcism, they took the doll with them. However, their journey was not that good. On their journey, their car broke down a lot until they splashed holy waters on Annabelle. After bringing the doll home, they began to experience strange events. The doll would move from room to room on its own, and it would even levitate on multiple occasions. The Warrens finally made a special glass cage for the doll, but sinister things kept happening. According to Warrens, a priest once came to their home to see the doll, and after seeing the doll, he took it and threw it across the room, and this happened to him.
Less than an hour later, driving home on Route 84, his brand new car went out of control. Half of his car was sheared off by a tractor-trailer truck. He should have been killed, but he lived.
Years later, a college student visited the Warrens Museum and knocked on the Annabelle doll's cage. He laughed at the doll and dared her to prove him wrong by slashing him. Ed Warren put him out of their museum, and guess what happened?
Less than 3 hours later, that boy was dead. Smashed into a tree, head-on, was killed instantly. His girlfriend was in a hospital for over a year.
Annabelle is still in Ed and Lorraine's Occult Museum, where a priest visits once a week to bless all the items, including Annabelle. Even though Ed and Lorraine Warren have passed away, their son-in-law Tony Spera is now in charge of the museum. Now, it is important to note that the names of the young priest and the motorcyclist were never revealed, and Donna and Angie never appeared in public after the events of the Annabelle case. In the end, the truth of the Annabelle case is up to each individual to decide. However, there is no doubt that the doll's story is one of the most fascinating and disturbing in the history of paranormal investigation.